Governor Firestone here, fellow Earthlings. It is the 23rd of December. So at this point, I would like to extend a warm thank you to all the channels that are on YouTube that I'm subscribed to. So on my network, I am grateful to have over 200 plus subscriptions. So generally, YouTube, which used to be a dating website originally when they started it, it was actually a hookup site or a dating website is what it was. YouTube then turned into a bunch of stuff that it wasn't originally. And then YouTube became responsible for electing, I believe it was 4 out of the last 5 presidents. YouTube was actually responsible for having the president of America elected, right? So now that that's cleared up and out of the way, I want to extend a warm thank you to all the channels that I am subscribed to on my subscription list, because I think I'm on like at least it's probably 230, 240 channels, right? So the reason I'm saying this, and you're probably wondering why I don't even have a shirt on, it's just to let some people know how comfortable I am in my own skin, and why I keep doing what I'm doing. So I came across some stuff, and I thought it was quite interesting, but it was the ability to be able to laugh at yourself. And when you're able to do that, it takes others' power away from them, right? So now that I've already done laughed at myself numerous times, what I would say is how many offices, and you'll see where I'm going with this, but prime example, there is Oregon just put together in the community, and I actually thought it was quite neat what they're doing over in Oregon right now, but this lady made a calendar for a community fundraising event, and she was using firefighters, strapping young firefighters that are looking really good to put a calendar together. But for instance, and this is just to prove a point a little bit, how many officers, for instance, on a sheriff department would go and look partially nude or do some sexy photo ops just to put them onto a calendar to create funding for a local sheriff department? Probably. Well, I already know in Heartland downstate, they wouldn't have done it. I already know because I already asked. But it does go to prove a point. They're okay with you stripping down and you doing what they ask. But heaven forbid if the community gathered together and tried to get them all on film partially nude, well, heaven forbid they don't want to do that, and I could only imagine why, right? So there's that. But I love you folk, and I really do, because I'm going to continue to push the idea that life force and vitality is more pertinent and more important today and irrelevant today as it's ever been. So as it is almost Christmas, I'm going to keep on supporting life force and the furtherance thereof. Anything outside of keeping people's vitality and life force alive is no friend of mine. So there's that. Now that this is out of the way, you're probably wondering, like, where you could help at. Well, what I'll say, the 5 most dangerous words, or what was it that Reagan said? The most dangerous words in the human vocabulary. We're from the government and we're here to help, right? So you have a public sector and then you have a private sector, right? And everybody knows that within the private sector, people make bank more than the public sector, right? Now, with that being the case, you have the public sector and private sector trying to combine, right? And it has been a thing a little bit, right? But what I'm trying to make a point of, and what I'm putting to rest, not for myself, but for others and other future individuals, my enemy, the enemy of life force, right? So we're going to take all your religion, all your deities, everything else that you're praying to, or whatever you're doing, right? Pastor Anderson, right, for instance, down in the South a little bit, has gotten lambasted by his own son because, well, there's a lot of hatred being spewed out of his mouth, right? So his own son went out of his way to show how nasty he is and how vile he is, right? So to our advantage and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So the reason I said thank you to my network the way I did, I know that my network, I know for a fact it has, and why some people are having the issues they're having here in the state of Michigan. My network challenged the Meredith Corporation. So your guys' television 2 boxes, right? A governor has the ability to use certain propagandas on their own soil. So Gretchen certainly can go and use the National Guard to push certain narrative. She's certainly capable of doing that, right? But now that my channel has taken that away from her, she looks to be looking a little bit foolish, right? And there's a reason, right? Because at what point, well, I'd be curious to know if she's been in politics for 20-something years, how much has she continued the furtherance of life force versus the deprivation of said life force? Because I would unequivocally say that the having pharmakia, COVID off a bunch of people, like legitimately, that certainly was not. I would say that having people drool upon themselves just so that, well, through your social engineering, they're easier to control, manipulate, and then dominate, also goes to prove a point that is also a deprivation of life force. But y'all keep doing you, and here it is. So the law of preservation